The Go Idaho Podcast is hosted by Greg Langhaim and Ken Lee. In this podcast, we feature everything Idaho, including some of the most influential people in this great state. Now here's your host, Greg Langhaim.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Go Idaho Podcast. My name's Greg Langhaim and I've got Ken Lee, and today we have an incredible guest with us today, Mandi Feely. So let's just jump into this. I'll tell you a little bit about Mandi. Mandi, born and raised in Idaho, graduate from BSU.
Yep.
Go Broncos.
That's right. You've got the right shirt on today.
And the hat.
I like it. Yeah. Game day tomorrow.
I know. Yeah.
It's all sold out.
It's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So Mandi's been in the mortgage industry for 20 plus years.
Yep. Yeah, now I feel old, but it's okay.
20 plus years, you're super involved in the community. You donate to charities, and a little fun fact, you have some sort of tie to the Mrs Idaho pageant.
Yeah, my heels have been hung up a while, but I was Mrs Idaho in 2003 and got to go to Hawaii and participate in the Mrs. America pageant, so that was an awesome opportunity for me.
Dang.
Is that
Yeah, it was fun.
Is that the term you use when you're in a pageant? Your heels have been hung up?
That's the term I use. I don't know what other ladies say when they're like retired from pageantry, you know, but my daughter is now kind of carrying the baton, so to speak, because she is Miss Idaho High School America this year.
Dang.
What?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
That's
okay,
so cool.
I have a question about Mrs. Idaho. All right.
Okay.
Talent shows. Is there a talent show where like you got to sing a song, you got to play a piano, or like you're like Sandra Bullock in Miss Congeniality where you got to play like the glasses?
I might be like a Sandra Bullock, and I would have to find a talent like playing glasses. No, I never. The pageants I participated in, I was really fortunate. My dad, when I was 14 and very awkward. I was outgoing but shy, and so my dad brought home this application for a teen pageant. It was a scholarship pageant, so you were judged on your academics, your leadership, your volunteer service, interview, which was a great opportunity for me just to learn how to talk to people and just keep eye contact and all of those things. And then it encouraged me to be involved in my community and keep my grades up. So that's how I got involved in pageants when I was young, and I won a national teen title when I was 17, so that paid for a lot. That gave me a scholarship to pay for a lot of my education at Boise State, so I graduated debt-free because of pageants.
Wow.
No way.
Yeah. So for me and my daughter going, wanting to do it as she got a little bit older, I really wanted that for her because there's not a finishing school for girls where you learn what fork to use, when you go to a fancy dinner or whatever, you're using your salad on your steak or whatever, salad fork on your steak. But, and there's, where do you learn to walk in heels and present yourself like a lady? And so for me, that's what pageantry did for me, like long term. And interviewing for jobs became easy, and learning how to get involved in my community was all because of that experience I had at such a young age. And now when Allie, my daughter, wanted to do it, I thought that's just such an awesome opportunity because it encourages community involvement and giving back. And my opinion always has been, if you want your community to be great, you have to put effort out and give of yourself in your community. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's, if I taught my kids that through pageantry, which sounds very weird because they're so stereotypical, right?
I was going to ask you, I mean, what you see, it just seems like almost like dance moms in a way, but is there a little bit of that?
Yeah, so I suppose in any sport, right? As a parent, right, you could see it in any athletic event, any sports, anything that kids participate in. There's good parenting and bad parenting, and you see it in everything, right?
Yeah.
So, but for me, I have lifelong friends. I'm still in contact. You asked me about being Mrs. Idaho, and that was the last competition I did, pageant experience I had as Mrs. Idaho at Mrs. America, and I'm still friends with some of those ladies. And whatever, that was in 2003, so we're not to date myself, but that was 24 years ago. So I'm still friends with those ladies to this day, and such high quality, right? It's just such high quality people that participated because they care about the same. Our values aligned with the communities and care for our families and our children and, church and faith and all those things that Mrs. America was an opportunity for me to share, and they're all high level people,
Right.
So you are who you spend your time with, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so I think, there are, in any activity, you might run across people that you might not connect with or want to have long-term relationship with. But I think overall that's all stereotypical, because what I got from it and what I hope my daughter gets from it is so valuable in our lives, just to mold us into better humans,
If you're enjoying this clip and you want to listen to the full interview, go to wherever you get your podcast and subscribe to the Go Idaho Podcast. Now, back to the show.
And you say it helped you get into your businesses and connect with people in the community and all those things. But before we get into the business part, I do have to ask one silly question.
Okay.
What was the craziest thing you've ever seen at a pageant?
Well,
and if you're not allowed to talk about it,
no. I think that the craziest part is, you've got a lot of girls in a dressing room, right? That's a lot of just nakedness in one place with a lot of people.
That's true.
Right? But really, I've seen girls literally have their zippers broken right before they go on stage and be sewn into gowns by other girls, or break a heel and need to borrow somebody else's shoes just as they're walking onto stage. That's kind of the craziest thing. A story that got told to me was at a pageant when we were at my sister was Miss Idaho Teen USA, and we were at Miss Universe in Vegas. And so we were watching Miss Universe, and the choreographer comes up and he's starting to tell the story to all the contestants as we're watching the rehearsals. And he says, the best story I have about pageants is this lady comes up and she's going to introduce herself. You know how they come up and they're like, Mandi Feely, Idaho, right?
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah.
So she comes up, and instead of doing her spill, she comes up and she says, I had a much prettier dress than this, but somebody, done broke the zipper and walks off.
No
I was like,
way.
so it's a live show. You don't know what you're going to get. So I might not have said that, but good on her, because she had a much prettier dress, and somebody done broke the zipper. So anyway, that's a funny story, right?
That's
so
crazy.
Yeah.